Aloha, welcome. I am so grateful that you've stopped in for this opportunity to expand upon your own gratitude practice. Hopefully, you've already uncovered the great magic of this simple yet profoundly effective practice. And not to worry, if this is your first delve into this land, welcome. And for those of you that have a regular gratitude practice, beautiful, keep it up. And I want to just take us on a little journey today that's going to potentially move us past your everyday gratitude, right? So we will start with basics. I want to just get things warmed up and have easy, really tangible concepts for us to start with, and then we'll go a little bit deeper. We'll kind of unpack what might be a little less obvious that we can be grateful for. So without further ado, I would love for you to grab a piece of paper. There's a lot of impact in actually writing these things down. If you don't have a piece of paper, no worries. You can do this mentally as well. And this is something you can come back to whenever you need it. And especially when we, right? I very much and practice all of this myself. So when we find ourselves in those states of maybe focusing on what isn't going right, when we're stuck in a loop of worry, stress, lack, limitation, I would really invite you to come back to this and get a big, broad picture of the multitude of things you have to be grateful for. So even on our darkest days, I guarantee you that there's a host of things that surround you and are within you that are very much deserving of your thanks. So let's begin. We're going to do 7 rounds. I would love for you to come up with 3 in each of these rounds. If that's too much, if it's a bit of a reach for you today, 1 or 2 would be great. And maybe you do this a few times and maybe you keep coming back to it and that 3 becomes like easy peasy, right? And I want you to think about where you are now, right? Like how you're feeling in this moment, knowing that you can do this practice whenever you need to, and the answers are liable to change. So round 1, I want you to think about the most basic, fundamental human needs of yours that are being satisfied. So in this regard, I mean your home, your food, the air you breathe. These are just a few examples to get you rolling. And to remember that I would imagine most of us, privileged enough to be watching YouTube and exploring our wellness journey, have these needs met. But that is not the case for everyone in the world. So it's a really good starting place. Okay. And feel free to pause at any point. If I give you a category and you need a little extra time, pause, and then we'll jump right back in together. Okay. So round 2 is also, should be quite tangible within reach for you. I want you just to think about objects, right? So it could be in your immediate physical environment or just objects that are beloved to you. So for me, I think about my surfboard, right? I get to go surfing. I get to play in the ocean. So think about 3 objects that just enhance your quality of life. My little ukulele over there, another one for me. Okay. The third one is people, other people, right? So it could be your family, it could be your friends, it could be podcasters, it could be religious leaders, it could be your local barista, right? Whatever the case may be, someone else that you maybe see regularly, maybe that just crossed your path once or twice but made a deep impact on you. So write down those 3 people. All right. Number 4, now we're starting to get a little bit more abstract. I want you to think about 3 bodily sensations that you're grateful for. I just completed an aerial yoga class about an hour or 2 ago, and I immediately think about Shavasana, right? That being held in a cocoon in my body, boom, relax. For you, it might be different, right? It might be being at the gym and feeling so super, super strong. And you can have multiple, and it could be the sweetness of surrender and the strength of your own power, right? So again, you have 3 opportunities to think about what bodily sensations you're really, really grateful for. Maybe a sneeze is really good for you, right? I like sneezing. So give it a moment, land on those. And again, if you need to pause, you can pause. Number 5 is emotion. So imagine what life would be like if you were just flatline, right? Not quite fulfilling, yeah? So take a moment to think about emotions that maybe you've experienced today or this week that you're profoundly grateful for. And I know for me, getting upside down in that hammock felt really playful. When I celebrated my birthday earlier this week, felt very, very supported, connected. So what's been going on for you? What emotions feel the most pertinent right now? Maybe it's discipline. Maybe it's love. Maybe it's appreciation. When you've landed on those 3, we'll move on to our next category. Now, this one might be really tricky for some of you. I want you to think about 3 of your own personal traits that you are oh so grateful for. And for my self-deprecators in the crowd, this might be a challenge to really honor and own what it is about you that you're thankful for. For me, I think about my willingness to try new things. I love adventures. I don't mind not being really, really good at something right off the bat. And I'm grateful for that part of my personality, that trait in me. What is it about you? Not just one thing, 2, 3. And I know this one could be definitely a little bit of a sticking point. And I especially want those of you who have a challenge with it to go deep on this one. And then finally, we'll visit the darker corners. All of us have them, right? We don't make it this far in life without encountering challenges and struggles. And it can be really alluring and tempting to fall into a victim mentality, to repeat a narrative of this happened to me, for me. By all means, I want to give you space to grieve or feel the hard emotions that come up. And I want to challenge you to reframe your perspective. It might be easier for challenges that have already been overcome, right? To look back and reflect and notice the nuance of what you earned, what you gained, the perspective, the growth, right? For myself, I made it out of an extremely abusive relationship. And that has given me the ability to empathize deeply with other women and potentially men who maybe are still in one. to be a beacon and a reminder that all hope is not lost. You can make it to the other side. You can grow and you can thrive. So that was a big one for me. It might be smaller challenges. It could be a physical challenge and the strength that you were able to garner from that experience. It could be a really hard conversation that you had with someone and a deeper sense of intimacy once you're able to get through it. So it's typically easier to see how the dots connect looking back. So if you're in it right now, it might not be so obvious. But I'd encourage you to have faith that life is happening for you and not to you. And know that if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So maybe you can apply this knowingness in a challenge you're experiencing now. And seek out the gratitude. I invite you to do this practice as often as you feel called. Share it. And let me know how you feel. If there's more that's come up for you, if there's deeper healing that potentially needs to be done, I am more than happy and honored to support you in that process. Please feel free to reach out. We can talk about different opportunities to really take the journey together. Have a beautiful rest of your day or evening. Sending so much love. Aloha.